Welcome back to more Hunter x Hunter, where, well, let's be honest, the population of this place is going to decrease kind of rapidly if something isn't done about it. The Chimera ants being, well, beings of insatiable hunger to breed and reproduce, to gain as many traits as possible. It's kind of interesting, if not downright terrifying. What kind of beings can be created through this phagogenesis if we've already seen traits from various animals come together, including humans, and let's be honest, humans seem to be quite the veritable treat. So nutritious. And if that isn't worrying enough for you, it definitely seems as though there's actually some more trouble along the way, setting up chains of command, battle platoons. Might be an all-out war soon. The ones being consumed here for the sake of the king. How much of a fight back is actually going to be able to be made against all of this? Is it going to get to the point where it's so dire that they've got to pull in outside help? But of course, with the likes of Gon and Killua joining in on this, it seems like the perfect trial for them to face now. And being shown here what future kind of combatants and creatures they can come up against. Parkour? Quarantine 1. Well, yeah. Basic humans without any sort of weaponry or forms of defense. Yeah, this village is about to be decimated, isn't it? Target the fully grown ones. Well, at least we're not going... Don't just run in a straight line. What if you just make yourself look small? Would that work? Now that one's going to be a right feast. Surprise. That is quite the termite mound. Or anthill, I guess. But not exactly trying to hide away now. They don't need to. Actually emerge and... Oh, well. Looks like we've got the beginnings of all of this, and how many times in the past has it happened if they've got these records? There would be... Yeah. numerous people that have gone missing. You have to check each and every one individually. I mean, how often do they update it? If entire villages want to go missing, it would take a while for anyone to actually find out, unless the merchant or anything comes round. The tidal data. Find out where it could have originated from. And what kind of battle did the Queen go up against to have the arm and an antenna and etc. severed? Why that one specifically? The autonomous region. Also, I was about to say, is there going to be some interference because of the flow of information between countries? By mail, oh god. Well, that would explain why no one is. Well, that would explain why no one has been registered as missing, or towns going completely quiet. No one would know for a long time. How are they? I mean, they're sticking to their own traditions, fair enough, but to the point of the detriment where they get them all of them killed. So what, are they going to have to try to get see who could get into the country with their electronics and not get arrested? Already, the battle for supremacy is kicking in. Is he going to fall to a fight of ego? Because it helps the Queen. If it gets him to shut up as well, I guess. So just quantity doesn't matter. Total. So they know about their origins. Hmm. I don't think we needed that, but could have imagined if she was left alone knowing the kids just vanished one day. I mean, is it for anyone's benefit, especially hers? I mean, they're out there somewhere. Uh, if anything, she would need closure. She would be giving up on them. I would like to know the timeframes here. Not immediately. Well, maybe it's good that she did go off into the forest. Might be spared the incoming raid. Is he going to actually... remember his own mother? Or maybe just, she's all skin and bones and not a lot of meat on there. It makes sense. Those that weren't carried off by the flying unit. It looks like technology isn't exactly fully denounced in this place. Okay, Gyro. Yeah, I was about to say Tortoise would exactly kind of have some sort of defenses against munitions, but if they do have firearms, it would help out in the attack on the Chimera ants. How long is the journey? He's quite... DD or D squared. No wonder he wants to get rid of the Chimera ants if they're hustling in on territory. So, which side do you root for? The bugs that are just doing what they do, or a group of narcotic dealers? Hey. So we've got Poco and... nope. Can't remember her name. The bee girl. Well, getting into the country is one thing. On kind of sparse rumours, and even if it is overheard on a recording, you can't give up on the hunt, even if there's nothing there. Ponzu. Oh, she's failed a few times. It's amusing that the second chance was completely just overwritten by Kidua, just to make it as fast as possible for him to get his license. Insect versus insect. Who's going to have the upper hand here? I mean, it's got nothing to do with them, except they can't turn themselves away from any sort of trouble that is brewing. if it's also going to help them on their trip to see Jin, and of course, somewhat doing the right thing. Leave him. This is a direct order. Self-safety is above all. There are small resurgences of memory there, I'm guessing. What about his sister? Was she not enough nutrients to be made into her own being? I'm kind of surprised that at least they've got some concept of clothing, but also taking literature and books for information. And more easily take them down. I'd say it was a small detachment rather than an army, but how many? Yeah, gyro. Are all the insects going to have their own identifiers? And how close to humanity are they going to get? Some of them have been more blessed than others in the combination sequence. He is. $50 every day. Wow. Little bit more, and they'll get into the realms of the God Emperor. Was it 1,000 psychers a day? Yep. If they have already been fought off once, if they find out what's going on and where they are, she's not interested. She's got bigger things to deal with. Just make sure they don't get to her, essentially. Well, individuality is something they have now learned. Do they choose their own names? Much, yep. Much like, well, completely separate off from normal behavior for an ant. There's no great hive or colony. They now value individualism. What is the origin of the queen, then? Now, I get it because, it's like traces of human blood, but would a humanoid insect rub its abdomen? We're talking about birth. I really don't know much about insect biology. And we've had Gon and Killua on the airships before. Are they going to meet anyone while here? Is anyone else going to be, on board? I mean, everyone is in danger to some respect. Not everything can go completely according to plan. How far in advance can you actually... Think about the future and, oh yeah, there's going to be a chimera ant. Gon will come across that in 12 years. And yet it's surprisingly simple. Yeah, but for Gon, high intensity thinking is still just like normal level. He acts by impulse and instinct. Yeah, he works in the moment, really. If it's something that he can't fight, yep, probably. If it means not leaving Gon behind, then probably he will just leave. You can run as many simulations or hypothetical situations in your head, but should anything actually come to pass, are your true feelings actually going to uphold that? The cruel fate. Well, that's laying it on. Thanks for warning me. Being told already that something's going to happen. How is it going to get to the point where, these chimera ants seem to be unstoppable because they've got such a vast army and they keep abducting all of the townsmen, villagers, and whatnot? But the introduction of human blood into them is slowly going to dilute their instincts because they're gaining this individuality and going to be able to think a bit more for themselves. What are we doing? Why do we have any care for this king? And how much of their past lives are going to interfere? Like, if he could even remotely recognize his own mother and give him pause for thought, it's like stepping over her. What about the others? All these intrusive ideas. I think by the end of all of this, they're really going to have to start updating the records for the Chimera Ants, what they get up to and what they've learned through all of this. And the idea of this place, the lifestyle away from technology, away from the devils of mankind. If you want to live like that and have that lifestyle, fair enough. I guess, no one really expects the band of killer ants and monsters and creatures to burst forth upon your land. I do think immediate execution of anyone bringing in technologies might be a tad harsh. And of course, you can see how they hold dear to that ideal when you've got narcotics dealers with guns. Okay, we'll give you a pass for now. I guess they are exempt from the whole arrest and execution thing. But I guess one thing all of this does really come to is that Gon's journey to meet his father. The father's been putting out roadblocks and what seems to be like points of trying to get him to stop, make sure that he's ready, and you need to be stronger. Is it because he's got this grand plan, or that he just wants his son to be the best? It seems like it could have gone wrong at any step of the way. And so, with the complete opposite of a helicopter parent out there somewhere, and no mention of the mother, and I don't think we will get, because this is the story of Gon and his father, will the families get to meet each other once they actually all get brought out in the open? Once Gon has introduced Killua to his dad, so, oh, by the way, he comes from a line of assassins. Do you know them well? It wouldn't surprise me if they're already good mates. Or at least have some sort of conversation in the past. But, like I said before, Hunter x Hunter isn't exactly afraid to decimate entire villages. The way that they are kind of dehumanized to the point where it's, oh, yeah, there's another lot gone. Oh well. You know how much danger and destruction is actually out there, and then when it brings it back for the moments like the mother breaking down because her children went missing, and still, she's not completely destroyed by grief. She ran back to help out, even if it really didn't achieve much. Well, on the surface at least, it might have put an entire stop in, or the cogs into motion for stopping the rest of the abductions if he thinks hard about it. But why did I stop at that moment? And I do also want to see more of the other insects, the ones that haven't been introduced yet, the ones we are seeing in the opening. Granted, slightly probably much too early to be seeing them in the opening, but like with the penguin, learning about tailoring, getting some outfits for them, and how human are they going to end up looking? Kind of cool questions. I guess the designs, they really get to kind of spread their wings, per se, for these designs and what he can draw and make up. Oh, we've got part insect, part roller die. Dog. Let's add something else in there. How do you make a 25% platypus? But if anyone out there is actually playing to the old PC strategy game Impossible Creatures, there's some good fun to be had with genetic splicing. Far too many hours were spent playing with that. But if you've enjoyed Hunter x Hunter, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing. Stay away from any... I was going to say... open areas where giant insects can carry you off, but... rivers could be dangerous. Standing in the fields could be dangerous if they're burrowing creatures. I guess it's safer not to go out at all. Just sit indoors and watch anime. See you in the next one. If you would want to whisk me away to pastures anew, whether or not to actually obtain fancy new chitin armor and maybe a set of wings, consider joining onto my Patreon and help birth new combinations of what may or may not be a complete affront to all sorts of nature. So, I guess I need to thank Noku, Raywin, Sal, Arthea, Kite, Mystic Square, Shiwan, Mats, Gurley, Cardboard, Acne, Guado, Diego Zenhausen, Tori Jane, the Kebab Seller, and everyone else for at least not completely abandoning the village when they first saw the insect swarm that is my channel approaching.